It is no secret Louisville has a bad rap when it comes to air quality. In fact, the American Lung Association gave Jefferson County an F grade back in April when looking at its ozone levels. That report also says Louisville ranks 21st in most polluted cities in the U.S. for year-round particle pollution. So what does all of that scientific talk mean? Joining us now to talk about Louisville's bad air quality is Dr. Shumit Som of Norton Healthcare. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Absolutely.
Let's start with the impacts, the health impacts of bad air. There are more air quality alerts we see during the summer months. Why is that?
Well, for a couple reasons. As you mentioned already, ozone does seem to be one of the things that the city of Louisville seems to have a problem with, just like the American Lung Association mentioned. And so we see a little bit of an increase in that coming through in the summertime. There are still issues as well with things like allergies and certain things. It's not just about spring and fall. And so those things all working together kind of picks things up around this time of year.
I think we tend to assume that just because we know about how bad it is for allergies. I know when I first moved here 3.5 years ago, but it's not just like you said during the springtime. There's more parts of the year we need to be concerned about.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, and do you see an increase of patients with air quality related health issues during that particular time in the summer?
Yeah, and you'll see people that have existing issues like asthma, COPD, even certain heart diseases, because trying to breathe in air that has pollutants and things of that nature, it ends up putting a lot more stress on the body as it's trying to, get you clean air through your oxygen. So, yes, you do see a little bit of an increase through that time, and it's something that we have to pay attention to when we see our patients.
And you mentioned some of those chronic illnesses or concerns. Are there, and we were talking about a little bit earlier, are there certain demographics that should be more concerned when we see those alerts?
Absolutely. So, first of all, just like you mentioned, if you do have any of these diseases previously, meaning COPD, asthma, congestive heart failure, etc., paying attention to these alerts is a very important thing. If you live in areas that are near certain manufacturing or certain industries that might put more kind of particulate and fine matter into the air, it's something to be wary about. And then certain groups and types of people do have some more trends towards illness, things like asthma and etc. So paying attention to those things is absolutely important.
What about folks who are generally healthy? Should they just kind of cast these alerts to the side if they are fine, thinking there's nothing that really can harm them?
Absolutely not, because even if it's a bad air day, that means it's bad for people with congestive heart failure and those chronic issues, but it's also, anybody that feels like they're completely healthy, because it can irritate the lungs, it can put more stress on the body, and it can really, just kind of make you have a bad day to start with, if nothing else.
And why is Louisville's air quality so poor?
It seems to be just a mix of a couple different factors, whether it's, what sort of industry may be in the area, the certain aspects of ozone and how ozone's produced. It takes a lot of different things, maybe even weather patterns as well, to come up with something like that. So it's a pretty big stew that puts it all together. All
right, and we've got just under 30 seconds. Any tips that we can share with our viewers as we continue into these summer months and expecting maybe some air quality alerts?
Yeah, absolutely. If you just type in Louisville air quality onto something as simple as Google, there's the National Weather Service and the local pollutant areas that'll tell you what the air quality is for the day. So keep an eye on that. If you are someone that has one of these chronic health diseases, especially, pay attention. Maybe something as simple as a mask, just limiting your exposure to that air. Things of that nature could go a long way.
All right, some important information. Dr. Shumit Som, thank you very much. Still ahead here.